Okay, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews. It was a fucking bitch trying to find a wallpaper for this show. I couldn't find one. Just gave up. I had to blow up an image. And that's for Amazon's Patriot. There's a new season coming out very early November. And I remember really liking the first season. And I could barely remember anything about it, even though I liked it. And you should say, well, if it's can't remember it, how good could it be? Well, I watch a lot of stuff. But as soon as I was clicking on it and looking at the images and who was in it, it all started coming back to me very fast. So of those of you that watch Jack Ryan, and if you liked that, you might like this a little bit. These are for the people, this is what I kind of wanted from Jack Ryan. Something different. Something that would take the Jack Ryan idea and elevate it over to more than just some procedural military whatever, to me, that's what Jack Ryan was. There's some good performances, really great cinematography, a halfway decent villain, but other than that, I mean, it was just I don't know. I didn't really like it that much, other than the performances mostly. But this is something of a whole other animal. Patriot is very different. It's got a lot of cliches, but just say that right up front. But the performances, again, the idea, and the way they tell the story, and things like that are very, very good. And I couldn't stop watching it. I remember just flying through this the first time I saw it. And when it didn't come back. And so I just kind of forgot about it because nobody had been talking about it season 2. And when I finally saw a picture for season 2, it made me go, oh shit. So I decided to go back and review all these episodes. I'm going to watch them again, kind of like they're brand new to me, and review them. And I highly recommend this show. I really do. It has people that I really like in it. 2 of them being Kurtwood Smith, who was the dad on that 70s show, Red Foreman. And more importantly for me, it has Terry O'Quinn as Tom Lavner, who is the matriarch of this show. And Terry O'Quinn, I'll watch in anything. He played John Locke on Lost, of course. He's been in a few things here and there that have been, he was wasted on Castle Rock. But he was on that show Millennium. He was the stepfather, and that kind of elevated this really bad horror movie kind of thriller back in in the 80s. He gave a really great performance in a movie that shouldn't have had good performances. Pretty much he kind of elevates things, and he's just such a cool dude. I don't know if he's cool in real life, man. They say don't meet your hero, so I'm just gonna go on faith that he's a cool guy. He's been on the X-Files a bunch of times. He's been in one of the X-Files movies. If you can keep coming back on the X-Files as different people, and nobody really, except for the fans, talk about it because you're just so good. This also has a few other people. I had it all down on my tablet. Of course, I don't have it on me. So before we get into spoilers, this is episode 1 of season 1. It's called Milwaukee, America. And the main story of this is about John Lavner. And he's the oldest son in the family, I think. And he's a intelligence officer. He was an intelligence officer. And something really bad happened. And he's not come back from it. He's in Europe. And his dad, he was a congressman, is now the head of intelligence, played by Terry Quinn, sends his brother, Ed, back to Europe to get him because there's this big thing happening where they're trying to keep Iran from getting nuclear capabilities. So what this and John has basically kind of seen and done things that he's not proud of. He doesn't really have his heart in it, and he'd rather be a folk singer. Unfortunately, his folk singing, which is good, is basically about all the terrible things he's done as an intelligence officer. So they can't really have him out there. So his dad comes and gets him for this job. to infiltrate this like company in Milwaukee that deals with people in Iran. And so through this cover that he's supposed to get, he'll be able to work in this kind of spy world that they're doing to keep Iran from getting nuclear weapons. And so that's how it, and it's, this whole thing is told very non-linear. It goes back and forth, at least the first episode did. And it's how he ends up with the job, and it tells you kind of different times of what the job is going on. The guy who plays John, Michael Dorman, I never really remember, I don't remember him from really much. His brother, Michael Chernus, though, who plays his brother Ed, he's been in like Orange is the New Black, Spider-Man Homecoming, Netflix's Easy. He's also pretty good in this as like a kind of just, he wants to be included. He's happy to be included. He's kind of, you would kind of call him he's not really taken seriously. And so this is like his chance to kind of get involved with something that he thinks is cool, even though it's pretty serious. He's not really happy with being just a congressman from Texas because those people don't really understand him. And it probably kind of seems like he was voted in because of who his father was or is. You got some really interesting people that work at the Milwaukee place. That's like Kurtwood Smith and Gil Bellows from Shawshank Redemption and Ally McBeal. And so he gets this job, John gets this job, and it's about him going to Luxembourg undercover with his company to give money to the right people to stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons capabilities. And it is weird, it is funny, it is heartfelt, it is serious. It's got some, it's got a mix of different things. And the mixing of tones can be a problem sometimes, but I couldn't stop watching it. So with the non-spoiler part out of the way, like I can't recommend this show enough if you want something different. It's not going to change your life or anything, but I found it hard to watch. And since there's 10 episodes already on Amazon, and the next 10 or so, I think, or maybe 8, I can't remember, are coming out at the beginning of November, you don't have to wait that long to get your next fix if you like this show. Now that we've talked about that non-spoilery way, let's talk about spoilers. Well, first, again, Terry O'Quinn is so great in this. He doesn't have the hugest role, but when he is on screen as the dad, he is great. So, on a job, John accidentally, he's supposed to kill this guy, but he accidentally gets bad intelligence and kills the maid at this hotel that he thought was the guy. It shakes him up so bad that he doesn't want to go back to America. He doesn't want to face anything, just kind of wants to sit around, and he's smoking pot and making folk music, and his dad, finally figures out a way to he sends his brother to Luxembourg to bring him home. He tells him he can't go home because he's like part of a bull riding competition in Luxembourg, and he always wins because he's from Texas. It's a little, like stereotypical, but, whatever. But he's compelled, like he wants to do what he wants to do, but he feels compelled to help his family out with this, he doesn't want to let his dad down, he doesn't want to let his brother down, and so he blows it, and he comes back to take this job in Milwaukee to become a part of this whole spy thing, to continue working in intelligence. Unfortunately, what happens is he's late to the meeting where he's supposed to be interviewed for this job. And when he gets there, he's flustered, he's not doing a very good job, and they want to give the job to this guy named Steven, who was on time and clearly knows the job way better because he's not faking it. So on the way out, Steven, this guy who's going to get the job, is walking with John, and John pushes him in front of a truck, which runs him over, but doesn't kill him. It just, they say that it messed him up really bad and took away his sense of humor. Really what it is he's really messed up and he can't remember what happened to himself. He just knows that he fell in front of a truck. So since that guy can't take the job, they give it to John, who has to then figure out how to pass a drug test, because he's been smoking so much pot in Luxembourg, and since he came right from Luxembourg to America, it hasn't been cleaned out of his system yet. So he convinces this guy that he works with he confesses to him what he's doing, that he's an intelligence officer trying to stop the bad guys from getting nuclear weapons, and if he can get this guy's pee, he is helping save America. It is dumb. That is stupid. Nobody should be, like following this or buying this. But the guy does it anyway, and I didn't care. I didn't care that was implausible, that this guy would do it. He's selling him on America, man. This is for America. You got to do this, and then don't tell nobody either, ever. Can't tell anybody ever. You're doing this secret thing that you can always know that you did something for America. Well, he does it for him. And unfortunately, there was a security guard that was listening to the whole thing. And you kind of don't know if the guy heard anything or not. Well, he passes the test and goes to Luxembourg. Well, the money that they're supposed to take is supposed to be checked in. They're supposed to be flying a private plane. Turns out they're not flying private. That's only for certain things. They are flying regular airlines. So he has to figure out how to get his bag on board. He checks it, and he has to. They didn't check it, look in it before, but when it's coming off, the guy looks inside his bag and sees there's a whole bunch of money and takes off with it in Luxembourg. Well, John chases down this guy. He finally figures out where this guy is after knocking out and possibly killing a security guard. Gets the information from this guy where this person who stole his money is. He's warned that the guy has 5 brothers. They're all Brazilian. I don't think that matters, but they are. And apparently they're all part of some sort of wrestling team, because when John gets there to steal the stuff, after he stabs the guy who gave him his pee, wants to become a part of things now, because now he knows and he can't get it out of his mind that he wants to help. John stabs him in the thigh to get him away from him, and then goes and sneaks into the place where the Brazilians are. Unfortunately, the 5 brothers show up, and they try to, they do wrestling moves on him to hold him there. I don't know what that's purpose, if they're trying to kill him or what, but he ends up having to, he's struggling with how is he going to get out of this without hurting anybody. When he realizes he can't, he ends up stabbing at least one of them to death and gets away. And I don't mean stabbing him to death where he just goes on a kill spree. The guys are all on him, and he stabs up and kills one of them and gets away. But then they know who he is. I don't know how. Something about some drawing that they find. And so they start blackmailing him. The Luxembourg police are after him because they're after whoever killed these people, because Luxembourg apparently before now hadn't had a murder in 3 or 4 years, and now they have 3 of them. So, so this detective is going to America to Milwaukee to find out who did kill these people. It is a very big mess, and I'm trying to just kind of give you the broad strokes of where the story is taking, is going to go. So as he gets back to America, the guy he pushed in front of the truck is awake, back working with the company and doing what he's supposed to be doing, because he's not good at it. And he is close to probably remembering what happened to him. The security guard did hear what he was saying and now is about to blackmail him. Dennis, the guy he stabbed in the thigh that took his pee, is now on the person. He ordered an online newspaper to find out what happened in Luxembourg. So now the Luxembourg police are already on him. And now the people in Milwaukee don't even want him to come back with them to Luxembourg, which he needs to do because the guy that they gave the money to in the end gave it to the bad people and not the people that they wanted. So now he has to go back to Luxembourg to find that guy and get the money back before it goes to the wrong people. And they don't even want him to come with. So now in America, he has to figure out how to convince these people to bring him back to Luxembourg and not leave him behind. In the meantime, his father has asked his brother Ed to help his brother out quite a bit because this job might be a little too much for him. And his brother knows this because after the job got screwed up, John and him go to a folks singer open mic where John proceeds to basically folk sing the events that transpired in Luxembourg, including killing people and pretending to be somebody you're not. So he is a liability, but he doesn't want to let his dad down. He wants to do his job, but he hates it, but he's good at it. It's craziness. I love it. It is filled with plenty of tropes and cliches that I should not forgive. I usually don't. But I just have so much fun watching it. And the performances elevate all of those things that I usually hate. And the story is just so weird. And the writing is pretty decent when it's not being cliche. And so I can forgive it. So I'm going to keep doing these. This was just episode 1. I know I will get better at doing this show's reviews because they throw so much at you in this first episode that it's kind of hard to just do a review of it. And so once now I think episode 2 hits and I've covered the bases for everybody, it'll be easier for me to just kind of take a step back and talk about it a little more cleaner. So anyway, that's Patriot. Again, I really, really recommend watching this show. I will continue to do them, probably like one a day until the new season comes out, which is, like I said, I think it's like November 9th. So that's coming up soon. So if you liked this video, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. If you've seen this show, let me know what you think of it. Whether you liked it or hated it or what. So anyway, this is Robert Smirking in Reviews saying we will be back with more reviews probably tomorrow. Otherwise, have a great night and we'll see you later. Bye. If I can turn it off.